Welcome back. In the deep blue Democrat stronghold of California, the communist governor, Gavin Newsom, under fire on several fronts, as he should be. The latest having to do with his attacks on family values and parental rights by signing an extremely controversial bill. It was Assembly Bill 1955. Now listen to this, folks, what this tyrant did. This legislation, signed by Newsom earlier this week, now prohibits all school districts in this massively large and diverse state where, by the way, you have millions of registered Republicans and conservatives who I guarantee, and probably some Democrats who don't agree with this, but now every school district in California now has a policy that requires all teachers and staff to not disclose any student's sexual orientation, gender identity, or whatever when they come forward and go, you know, hey, Mrs. Smith, my 8th grade teacher, I think I'm going to transition. Shh, okay, great, we'll tell your parents. Now it's illegal if you do. You literally can't tell them. A concerned teacher can't tell a parent what their kid's going through. What sense does that make? And that's the tip of the iceberg when it comes to Newsom's failed leadership in the Golden State. The governor also responsible for the rapid explosion in retail theft due to his liberal, soft-on-crime policies and all of the prosecutors and DAs that have been hired up in Oakland and San Francisco and Los Angeles that just give these folks a slap on the wrist, or heck, they don't even charge them sometimes. If you steal under $1,000, you get away. It's nothing, right? No big deal. Stores attempting to fight back and report shoplifting are being threatened with fines for reporting crimes. Did you hear me? Fines for the store reporting crimes, not the bad guy who committed the crime and stole from the store. Oh, no. No. Retail giant Target is actually being targeted by the Sacramento city attorney for creating what they call a public nuisance. This after the employees of that store placed numerous calls to police to report thefts. The dramatic rise in retail theft came in the wake of Prop 47, passed all the way back in 2014, reclassifying certain low-level drug and theft offenses as just misdemeanors. No big deal. Massive outcry is now forcing Prop 47 back on the ballot in November. More than 900,000 signatures have been gathered for a new statewide initiative to amend the deeply flawed measure. For some, all of this liberal garbage is just too much to bear. Did you hear what he's doing? This is huge, and this is really bad for Cali, especially since we're in the red, Gavin. Billionaire Elon Musk saying Tuesday that he's going to move the headquarters of his two companies, X Corp and Space X, from California to Texas. Musk says the final straw was Newsom's new law preventing schools from informing families of their children's identity crisis. And that's what it is. When you're a minor, it's an identity crisis. And your parents should be told immediately so they can deal with it, not teachers and principals keeping it quiet. You're going to sound off about Mr. Newsom's commie-style leadership in the state I live in and the state she lives in. She's a former California state senator. Melissa Melendez back on the program. Melissa, so nice to see you. We should really chat when there's something good to chat about. I feel like every time I talk to you, it's all about how Newsom and the Democrats in Sacramento have screwed up one of the most beautiful states in our republic. I mean, come on. We all love California, not for its politics, not for its leader, not for the millions of crazy liberals, but for the beauty of what God created. And they just keep screwing it up, Melissa.
Yeah, and it seems, they're hell-bent on going after the kids in this state. That bill he just signed, I don't know what's wrong with him. I do know that they want a direct path to the kids, to the next generation. And the way you do that is you cut parents out of the equation. I mean, if you think about, Dan, you have kids, I have kids. If your child gets in a fight at school, they're going to contact you.
Right,
if your child gets caught with drugs at school, they're going to contact you. If there's any sort of bullying, any of that stuff, the first thing they do is contact the parents. But in this particular case, if your child is deciding he or she wants to change their identity, well, that's okay to keep it a secret from parents. I mean, why do you suppose that is? Because it's something they are trying to encourage and push. That's why. Otherwise, I mean, what other reason could there be? It's really demented and sick. And every single Democrat that voted for this, Newsom, signing the bill, they should all be ashamed of themselves. And I will tell you this. It is not just a Republican issue. It is not just Republicans or conservatives who are upset about this. This is Democrats and independents and everything in between as well who are not happy about this. And they have a right to be upset.
Yeah, they sure do. I mean, come on. You laid it out perfectly. So, folks, if you get into an argument, use Melissa's argument right there. If anyone says, well, no, because some parents aren't as understanding and they wouldn't be as, and the teachers are more open to it because they're not invested, it's not their parent. No. What she just said laid it out perfectly. You get a phone call for every little fart your kid does in the classroom, but they're not going to call you something as major as, hey, you know what? I don't want to be Jane, I want to be Jim. Nope, don't call your parents. We'll keep it a secret. This is insanity,
right.
And it's pure grooming. Let's talk about the retail theft, because we have seen multiple major box store chains leave. You've had CVS's and stuff up in San Francisco close down, pull out of the city. I mean, they're running for the hills. And this one about the Target stores up north, where the Sacramento city attorney wants to fine them. I guess they made, and this is a crazy number, correct me if I'm wrong in the back, guys, I believe I saw they made like 462 phone calls in 365 days from the multiple Target stores they have around Sacramento. So that's more than one a day, right? With 365 days a year. And she's upset. She wants Target employees to stop calling about crime. What is wrong with these people, Melissa?
Yeah, so the Sacramento County Sheriff is a former colleague of mine in the state assembly who sat, right behind me, now the sheriff of Sacramento County. And I remember seeing on his social media feeds and texting with him about the fact that they were sending their officers in to try to tamp down on some of this crime, and they were getting flack, from all sides. And now you have the city attorney who's going to fine, does she blame a rape victim for what she was wearing too? I mean, what is going on here? You have a store that's having their items and their inventory pilfered by criminals, and she's going to fine the store? But, this also goes back to Gavin Newsom and all of the Democrats who voted for it, who said there's nothing wrong with Prop 47. There is no reason to believe that has caused an increase in crime. So they've just buried their heads in the sand and decided they're not going to admit that maybe they made a mistake when they sold that bill of goods to the voters who ultimately passed it. They won't do that. They're going to dig in their heels and they're going to try to do everything except take responsibility for what they've done.
Final question, just a few seconds left. Melissa, it's an easy one. Elon Musk making that major announcement. I mean, the first thing that comes to my mind is jobs, tax revenue. Good job, Democrats in Sacramento, because Elon's going bye-bye with two major companies that will only grow from here. They're tech companies in space exploration. And how many jobs and how much tax revenue did you just cost the not-so-golden state? You get the final word.
Right. Well, I mean, we've, already lost all of our aeronautics industry out of California, right? So this is the next logical step for Democrats because they hate Elon Musk. They hate the fact that he's successful. Apparently, they want him to create jobs, just not make any money doing it. I don't get it. But Democrats, you have to understand, in their minds, it's, that's okay, he can lead because we'll find the money somewhere else. And where they're going to find that money probably is in your wallet.
Boom. Great way to end it, because that's exactly what they'll do. They'll take it from our damn taxes. Melissa Melendez, former California State Senator, as always, thank you so much for coming on the program. Appreciate you.
My pleasure.
Yep. And folks,